Day 7. Today we listen to the 1979 album Off the Wall from Michael Jackson. Now, I've heard several times over the years that even though Thriller is Michael Jackson's most popular album and his most successful album, that Off the Wall is actually his best album. So I gave it a listen. This is a great album. It's full of great. It's got some great beats and rhythms. And if you think about when it was recorded in 1979, right? Disco still had its hooks and a lot of stuff, and this is very much the beats and the rhythms from this album are very much geared to the disco crowd. Um, all I'd heard before from this album was "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" and "Rock with You," the ones that everybody's heard. That those are certainly great songs. There are some other songs on the album that are just as great. "She's Out of My Life" is a beautiful ballad in the middle of all those disco tracks. Um, but to say that it's a better album than Thriller um, might be comparing apples and oranges on several levels. Um, One, like I said, they're for two different crowds. This album is geared toward the discos. You can just hear it in the rhythms and even in the lyrics. And when he even mentions discos a couple of times. And of course, by '82, Thriller's geared for just a completely different crowd. So I think it's comparing apples and oranges on that level. On a personal level, I think it's comparing apples and oranges too. For a Gen X kid like me that was just starting to listen to music, um, you know, radio and rock music in '83 when all those songs dropped. I didn't just listen to Michael Jackson. I watched Michael Jackson. MTV was just starting to become a force. And so I saw Billie Jean and I saw Beat It and I saw the Motown special when Michael Jackson moonwalked the first time and, the Thriller video. So I didn't just consume Michael Jackson audibly, I visually consumed him. You'll never beat Thriller for me because of just the overall experience it was for me um, as a 13-year-old and seeing and hearing that stuff for the first time. I still say that Off the Wall is a great album. There's every single song is fun to listen to. I will listen to that album again. But to say that it's his better album, I don't know as a Gen Xer, as a kid that that album Thriller was one of the first albums I ever listened to. I don't know that I can say that Off the Wall is a better album. It's a great album. You should give it a listen. If you haven't heard it, it is a fantastic album. You could put that thing on in the background when you're fixing dinner, and you'll be dancing all over the kitchen. I will listen to this album again. I'm a little surprised I hadn't before, but being the Gen Xer from the '80s, I'm just more in tune with Thriller and Bad and History and all his albums afterwards. That's just for Gen Xers like us, that's Michael Jackson to us. But there's a whole crowd out there that knew Michael Jackson before he became Michael Jackson on Thriller. So I think comparing the albums is isn't good. I think they're two separate albums written for two separate times and people groups, but they're both. Off the Wall is a great album. Um, Burn This Disco Down, the very last track on the album is just again, it's a disco track, but it's a great song. The whole album is full of great songs. You will love it if you listen to it. If you don't listen to it, if you're like, no, I'm a Thriller fan, I'm a Michael Jackson in the '80s fan, I don't want to hear that. More power to you. But I would encourage anybody to listen to this album. I will listen to it again. It'll probably be on again at some point this summer. So let me know your thoughts. If you've heard it and you like it and you think it's better than Thriller, let me know. If you have other opinions, let me know that too. Um, anyway, that's day 7. Only 93 more to go.